Okay, so guys, can you hear me again?
Yes.
Yeah. So seems like we have lost that previous information on whiteboard. That's fine. Okay, but Prabhanjan, is that thing clear to you?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, I'll share some more resources with you. Okay, regarding recurrent neural network. Okay, don't worry about that. I'll share few more resources. Like what exactly mean by that? So in our applications
Okay.
for like at least for like computer vision problem or perception model, we really don't need recurrent neural network that extensively unless you are going for like this um, GAN, general adversarial neural networks. Okay, so generative adversarial network thing. You really don't need to go for LSTM. So you just need to be like good with this computer vision stuff. For like means you will go through when you have to solve classification problem, or when you have to solve object detection problem, or tracking problem, or image segmentation problem, or even something like depth estimation kind of problem. In that situation, you really need to be good at like this CNN thing. Okay, but, RNN thing is not that relevant unless you are going for prediction kind of stuff, or stuff related to natural language processing. Okay, so that's the thing. Then if you're clear about theory behind deep neural networks, okay, and if you're clear about CNN RNN part as well, then we can like we can start with our tutorial. Okay, so I have shared one link with on our group. Okay, so you can open that thing on your browser. Okay, so basically that's the collab link, and you will see something like this over there. Okay, could you please confirm whether you are able to open it or not?
Yes, I am able to.
Please type. Yeah. Is this the case for everyone? Like, are all of you able to open it
Yes,
on
we
your
are
side?
able to open.
That's it. Okay. So yeah, let me tell you a little bit about frameworks to define neural networks. Okay. So basically, there are two frameworks which are majorly used to define neural networks. Okay. Obviously, we have we can also use a deep network designer toolbox in MATLAB to develop this sort of thing. But again, like that's not like first choice for a lot of engineers. Okay. So they tend to use either Keras and TensorFlow framework. Okay, using like this they can use that framework to develop design and train models, or they can go for PyTorch. Okay, so PyTorch is something which was developed back in like 2016 by Somit Chautala and his team at Facebook AI Research Center. Okay, so when they were developing this thing, or when they were working on this thing, their major focus was to like develop some framework which is like more research friendly. Okay, and at the same time they were also considering thing that like this framework should have some sort of compatibility with GPUs, and it should be able to easily move to deployment environment. Means it should be able to easily get deployed. Okay, so like these are the like 2-3 things they were considering. Like it should be research friendly. Then second thing they were considering is like it should have like some sort of GPU compatibility, and third thing was like time from research to production deployment should be as minimum as possible. Okay, so these were like 3 objectives that they kept in mind, and using that means they develop this framework. Okay, so this is a PyTorch. This is kind of Pythonic language. Okay, if somebody is good at Python, then they can easily like grasp this framework. Okay, and they can use this framework to develop neural network. And means there are two models that we use extensively. First is a torch model. So inside the torch model, we have like NN package, we have optim NN package to build neural network. Okay, so like as I told you earlier, like we had like one input layer, then number of hidden layers, and then output layers. If you have to build that sort of model or neural network, then we can use NN model or NN package. So that something is there. Then second thing is we have optim package over there. Okay, so basically we tend to import all of them in the beginning. So we have optim package to deal with that unconstrained optimization thing. So you will have like various choices for optimizer. It could be HGD, that's the stochastic gradient descent method. It could be ADAM, or it could be RMSWAP. Okay, so that's the so you will find all those optimizers inside this package. Then you have like one more package for AutoGrad. Okay, so in case of the Keras and TensorFlow, you have a different package to keep track of, like so thing is that when we have to, during backpropagation operation, we need to calculate gradient, right? And to calculate that gradient, we need to keep track of all the operation which is being done inside our during feed forward operation. Okay, so keep track of all these things. Inside PyTorch, we use this AutoGrad package. Okay, so it keep track of all those operations which are happening in feed forward stage, and then based on that, it helps us to calculate gradients. Okay, and that's something we use in backpropagation step to calculate weights or update our weights. Then our second model that we have over here is a torch vision. Okay, so in case of the Keras, if you have to solve like some sort of like computer vision problem, if you have to use some sort of pre-trained models, or you have to use some sort of data set, then like there are different libraries are there. Okay, so in similar way, inside PyTorch environment, we have this second module. Okay, so this is a torch vision module, and inside this module you will find like this sort of things over there. Okay, so you have package for data sets, so you would be able to use different data sets over here. Means you can use niche data set, which has like around 70,000 images over there of 100 digits. Then you have like fashion niche data set, you have like ImageNet data set over there. Okay, so means you can use that thing directly. Okay, so all those things are stored inside this data set package. Then you have like different models. Okay, so when it comes to transfer learning, okay, sometimes like when we use simple architecture, we might not be able to get really good accuracy for object detection or classification kind of problem. Okay, so what we generally tend to do is we use like already developed networks, train networks on image dataset, which has like around 10 million images over there for 1,000 classes, and we just remove upper layer of that network, or like a layer towards output, and we replace them with our like customized layer, and we can use that thing for like classification or various purposes. So when you have to deal with training, means transfer learning, then we use this models package. Okay, so it has like it has various uh, pre-trained models over here. It has AlexNet, it has ResNet, it has DenseNet. Okay, so it has various models in here, and then we have transform package. Okay, so thing is that when you take images from camera, okay, in that, and then when you have to feed that thing into neural network, so in that situation you might need to do some sort of pre-processing on that input image. Okay, so all these things means let it be like normalization. So if you have to improve accuracy of your network, then you tend to do normalization, you tend to do cropping, you tend to do means there are a lot of things that you do. Okay, so if you have all means, and even if you have to do data augmentation, then various operation like resizing, rotation, flipping, let it be horizontal or vertical one. So you can find all those things or all those methods inside this transform package. So these are the packages and these are the models that we use in PyTorch environment. Okay, so that's the first thing. Okay, so that's all about PyTorch. So means what sort of things we use over here. Okay, so NN2 means NN package to develop neural network, then Optim to do that, means that optimization thing. But before that, we also used to calculate loss. So it could be like cross entropy, or means categorical cross entropy, or it could be like MSE, mean square error. Okay, then third thing is about this AutoGrad. Okay, so when you do back propagation thing, you need to keep track of you should be able to calculate gradient, and that's something you do using AutoGrad package. So that's there. And then next thing is like you want to do like you need data sets, you need to do some transform operation, so you use packages inside Torch Vision for that. Okay, so that's the all thing that we need over here. Okay, so now the thing that we want to do is, so let's say you have to use this thing. Okay, so you have to solve this thing. So in that situation, what you generally do, first of all, using this import command, you import this torch module, and you import torch vision module. Okay, so that means like torch and torch vision module is being like imported over here. So it's being imported then now. So once it's imported, next thing is you can use various method associated with these packages in here. Okay. So as I told you earlier, so what we generally do in our case, we do means we pass this thing to our neural network first. Okay. So it has like for that particular perceptron, it has two elements. First is like linear operation, and then it has a non-linear operation. Okay. So basically, I have written one function over here. That's like means this is a way how we write a function. Yeah, then it's not an means I will upload this recording to Drive. So, thank you for your time. So next thing is about means non-linear activation thing. Okay. So means I have written one simple function over here. So that's something implement sigmoid function of the form 1 divided by 1 plus e raised to minus x. Okay. So you can write this thing. So basically, when you have to write function in Python framework, what you generally do is use def as a keyword, then name of your function, then argument that you wanna need over there, and then you do some sort of processing over there, and you decide what you want to return. Means what you want that function to return. Okay. So basically, you want to return this y is equal to 1 by 1 plus e raised to minus x. Okay. So basically, this torch is an extension of kind of NumPy library. Okay. And means in similar way you are using this thing over here. Okay. So torch into torch dot exponential minus x. So whenever you are using torch dot that thing, that means like you are using exponential method from this torch package. Okay. So this is like second thing. So if you like run this thing, it's working. So we have written down function for this thing. Next thing is uh, so if let's build simple neural network. Okay. So what I said earlier, so we have feature, okay, of the size 1 by row and 5 columns. Okay. 1 row, 5 columns. That means like you have like simple vector. Okay. So one defect. So you have just like simple tensor over there. Okay. The major data structure that we are using over here in PyTorch environment is a tensor. And so basically we have one so simple 1D tensor over here. Okay. And this torch.manual seed is something is just to like get some like same sort of like random values when you repeat this thing again and again. Okay. So use like torch.manual seed. I'm just giving randomly any number 7. Then using torch.random. So random, and then you are using one thing over here. So basically whatever value that you're gonna get, those values will be like normally distributed. And you will get like one means 5 elements over here for feature. So that's gonna be our input. Then as I mentioned earlier, our so let's say you have like 5 inputs, then you also wanna need like 5 weights over there. Okay. So what we are doing is like we are also creating weights, but we also again creating weights randomly. Okay. But we want to maintain same shape that as that of like feature. Okay. So we are using command random like, and then that of the features, and we are getting weights, and we also need bias means one element over there. Okay. So we are getting this. Okay. So is this thing clear to you? Means how exactly we are like means creating all these like, means features, weights, and biases,
Yes.
and then we are just printing this. So you can see like this 5 elements for. So basically it's tensor, so it's being displayed over here. So we have like 5 feature values, then we have 5 weights values, and we have 1 bias value over here. So that's the something we need. Okay. So that's all we have, and then now we're gonna calculate output. Okay. So what I'm trying to do over here, I'll try to implement one single perceptron. Okay, in the beginning. Okay. So let's do that. So just I'm using NumPy library to just check means shape of these weights. Okay. So it's nothing different, but yeah, it's like 1 by 5, 1 by 5. That also we can see, but just you like its sizes are 1 by 5. Okay. And then as I mentioned earlier, I just want to perform one feed forward operation through that one perceptron. Okay. So what we generally do inside that perceptron, we perform multiplication of these features and weights. Okay. Right. So our how exactly we get logic value? Y is equal to w times x plus b. Okay. So what I am doing over here is I am taking like multiplication between features and weight. I would have written like feature times weights, and then I would have some means that thing for all those 5 values of features and weights, and then I would have added bias thing over there. Okay. So means there are 2 operations. First is like multiplication and then summing, and then again adding that thing to bias. Okay. But if you have to like replace that multiplication thing, means element wise multiplication and summing thing together, then I can directly use matmul, means matrix multiplication operation over there. Okay, torch.mm. Okay. And you just need to mention feature and weight. But thing is that our feature and weight, both of them have like same dimension, 1/5, 1/5. So what I want to do is like I want to change the shape of our weight vector. Okay, so I want to have it shape as like 5/1. Okay, and when you have to change shape of that particular tensor, what you generally use, like there are three commands. First is like resize, then there is a reshape, and then there is a view. Okay, resize and reshape is all about how exactly you are means there are a lot of spooky actions which have been happening over there. Okay, so just don't, if you don't want to get into that sort of like memory allocation stuff, uh, people generally go for this view command. Okay, so you use like weights dot view, and then you just provide like shape that you need for your tensor. Okay, so you change shape of this weight tensor to 5/1, and then we perform matrix multiplication. Okay, so what it will do is like it will perform element wise multiplication between features and weight values, all those five values, and then it will sum all of them together. Okay, if you perform like multiplication between 0.14 and 0.89, 0.78 and 0.35, if you sum all these things together, you will get y1 value. And then what we are doing is we are adding y1 to bias, and uh, you are getting some logic value, and then you are passing this logic value to this activation function that we have written in the beginning. Okay, so this thing is like it taking like this value as an input, and then it passing through this thing, and we are getting that output. Okay, calculated output value. Okay, so that's something will be written. Okay, so it's like simple representation of, so basically we're taking three inputs over here, like feature, weights and biases. So that's something I have done over here, and if I print this thing, then that's something I'm getting as output. So if you do like this check, then you will get like similar value. Okay. So basically this is like implementation of single perceptron. So you get one output over here. So you have implemented both the things, linear operation over here and then non-linear activation part over here. You get some output value over here. Then you compare this output value with desired output value. You calculate loss, and then you perform back propagation operation using gradient descent method, and you update your weight values. Okay, so the weight, the one we have over here, and bias value. Okay, and that's how you get your network trained. Okay, so that's the simple representation. Okay, so is this thing clear to you guys? The simple perceptron means implementation. Would you be able to like implement this thing on your own later on? Hello guys, please yes, no, something. Hello.
Yes, it's clear, Maya.
Right, fine. Thank you. So that's just for like one perceptron. Okay, so we have just implemented one perceptron. Okay, so we have like feature of the size 1/5. We have five weights and one bias value, and that's how we have implemented one perceptron, which performs linear and non-linear part, and we get some output. And if you perform back propagation operation, then we can get our network trained. Okay, but thing is that that is like simple artificial neural network. Okay, but in some situation you might need to have like more number of hidden layer in between input and output layer. Okay, so that's something we have written over here. Okay, so over here our input feature vector shape is like 1/3. Okay, so we have like three inputs, so that's something we are calling as a feature one, and I'm also like getting its shape. Okay, so basically it has like shape 0 and shape 1. So if I write feature 1, so feature 1 is a tensor. If I write feature 1 dot shape 0, then it will, if I write shape 1, then it will give me like this three value, because we want to perform multiplication between this feature vector and like weight vector, right? So that's the reason we need these three values. So what I'm is like n input feature 1 dot shape 1, I'm getting like n input, that's the size of our input. The number of hidden layer that we need is like, means number of neurons in our hidden layer is 2, and number of neurons in output layer is 1. Okay, so that's the representation. So thing is that if we have like three means three element as an input, we have two neurons in the hidden layer, and if we have like one output, then we also need to plan our weight values accordingly, right? So I am creating a vector over here. Okay, for like this first layer only. Okay, so first layer weight vector should be should have size of 3/2. Okay, 3/2 means like so you need to like Okay, sorry for my drawing skills. So basically this is the representation of it. So what I'm saying is like we have like 3 number of inputs, we have 2 number of hidden layers, and we have like 1 output here. Okay. So what I'm saying is I want to create a weight vector for this first thing. Okay. So you will have like weight values coming for this first neuron. Okay. So you have like these 3 things. Then you have same thing going for this second neuron, right? So that way you need like 2 columns over there. Okay, means just 1 by 3 is not enough, you need like 3 by 2. Okay, so 3 rows and 2 columns. So that first column is something will deal with this like first neuron, and then second column will deal with the second neuron, and then we will combine these 2 things together, and then over here we need like shape of like 2 rows and 1 column. Okay, and that's how we get our done. So you can see this thing over here, like torch at random. So I'm creating like 3 by 2 size weight vector over here. Then second for the second means for second and third layer, and then I'm performing. I'm also creating bias vector over here. Okay. So I just need like 1 bias vector means for each neuron. Okay. So B1 like 1 by 2 and 1 by 1. So if I like, and then what I'm doing is I'm performing like feed forwarding operation. So I'm performing multiplication between feature and 1. So our feature size is 1 by 3, or W1 size is 3 by 2. So 1 into 1 by 3 into 3 by 2 is like 1 by 2. And then we are adding that thing with like our B1. So that's again of shape 1 by 2. And we are getting like feed forwarding done through this thing. Okay. And then we are passing through this activation layer, and we are getting H1. Okay. Then what we need is like we want to pass this thing H1 through another the second W3. Okay, so H1 size is like 1 by 2, and then our W2 size is like again 2 by 1. Okay, so 1 by 2, 2 by 1 is like 1 by 1, and then 1 by 1, then we get like 1 by 1. Okay, so we get like 1 element at out. So basically that's how it happens when you have like complex architecture. Okay, so if I just print this H2 thing over there. So you get something like this. So that's the thing. So this is how you implement this complex kind of perceptron which has like 3 inputs, then 1 output, and like 2 neurons in hidden layer. Okay, so that's the simple artificial neural networks. When you increase number of hidden layers, okay, using like this similar representation, you can just like copy paste this thing, and you can get like multiple layer, and that's something you call it like deep neural networks. Okay, so in the beginning, if you use convolutional neural network, then you call it as like CNN. If you use like LSTMs, then you call it as RNN. So that's all about basics, and the thing that you need to know about means how exactly you can frame this problem in PyTorch. Okay, but thing is that means these are the basic things. Okay, so these are like basic operation that one would do in Python environment as well. Okay, but PyTorch is not just about this basic operation. Okay, so PyTorch is providing us some sort of API. Okay, so it's like application programming interface. Okay, so it's performing a interface, user-friendly interface, where we are just providing this thing as like means our input values, and all these things, all this computation thing is something happening at the back end. Okay, so we really don't have to worry about that. Okay, so in the case of PyTorch, and that's the beauty of this language or this framework, like all these things which is happening at the user end, that's in Python. Okay, but the thing that's happening at the back end, or like at the level of package, that's happening in C++. Okay, so that's the reason when you have to like deploy this in production environment, you just need to add like some annotations over here. Okay, and you will get like intermediate representation of your code. Okay, so that's the beauty of this framework. Now let's try to solve one problem, or like let's try to build one model to solve classification problem. Okay, so basically what we want to do is, so we have like handwritten data sets, that's something called as like niche data set for like digit from 0 to 9, and we want to build a neural network to classify that. Okay, so it basically like grayscale images, means we don't have like color values, RGB color value, we just have like one neural network over there. Okay. So there are 4 steps that one need to follow when they have to develop neural network. First is we have to import. First thing is we need to import all the packages which are necessary. So what we need to import? We need to import Torch. From Torch, we need to import NN library to build neural network. We need to import Optin package to deal with like optimization thing. Then from Torch Vision, we need to import data sets, and that's where we gonna get niche data set. Then models is something we really don't need right now, but we can also use these pre-trained models. And then we have transforms to perform pre-processing operations. Okay, and to just keep track of gradients, we are going to like means import this library as well, torch.autograd as a grad. And thing is that so we perform linear operations, and all these linear thing is something we can get from this NM package, like this fully connected layer or convolutional neural layer or means max pooling 2D layer or everything we can get from NN package. And that's something varies. Okay, but there are some functional layer like this activation function which doesn't vary at all. So that's something we can directly get from this package. Okay, torch.nn.functional, and means what they have done is they have like classified that thing, means all those activation function, and they have put that thing into this functional sub package. Okay, and that's something we are calling as like yeah, and that's where we want to get all the packages. So first, this is the first part. Okay, you have to import all the necessary packages. Okay, so I'm importing all these packages first. Okay, then second thing that you need to do is you need to build your neural network, and that something depends on your need. Okay, so there are various ways. Yeah, refresh it, everyone. Refresh it. So you can like just restart your runtime from here. Okay. Where is it? Yeah, restart runtime. I'm really not gonna do that thing right now, but yeah, in your case, if it's giving some error, just restart it. Okay. So first thing, you need to import all the packages, and then second thing is you need to build model. Okay. So it's the simple thing, right? The way you define class in Python, similar way we gonna means we are defining our model over here. Okay. Yes, there are other way as well, like you can use sequential method to build this package, but you can also define this as a class. Okay, so if so how exactly we are defining it? We are defining that using like foo or that OOP principles, object oriented principles. So it has like 4 packages. So what are those? Like we have like encapsulation over here. Okay, so we are like combining all the methods and variables and properties under one class. So that's the encapsulation. When you wanna call that, they're gonna be abstraction. You wanna use polymorphism, and you wanna also using inheritance over here. Okay, so what you wanna do is you wanna create, whenever you have to develop model or neural network, what you wanna do is you wanna create class using this method keyword. Then you wanna name it, it could be anything, model, classifier, anything. And then you wanna inherit from you gonna basically create it as like subclass. Okay, inherited class from this NN model class. Okay, so that's the reason. So when you create like inherited class, you tend to put that like parent class name over here, right? So basically we are taking that thing, inheriting all the information from that NN model. So that's the reason we are putting it over there. So class, model and NN model. Okay, then next thing is like we need a constructor, right? So define init self. So that's how you create constructor. Okay, means you initiate all the things. So self is basically like kind of keyword over here. So it means all the variable that you want to use over here. So all of them will be like attached to this self keyword. Okay, or this particular class or this constructor or this model. Okay, then you use this line. Okay, super model self dot init. Okay, so that way what you are basically doing is, so this is something you will find when you use ROS framework. Okay, so in that situation also, when you develop node or when you create node, you write something similar. Okay, super is a keyword that you write over there to like associate all those things inside that constructor to that particular class. Okay, so super, the name of that model, then I will not take more than 10 minutes. Okay, don't worry. So super model self and then init method. Okay, and then after this command, all these things. So self.fc1. So here we are defining like fully connected layer. So NN linear 784 by 256. So it will have like 784 as a input elements and 256 as output, and that's something we are forming over here. Okay, so that's like first neural network, fully connected network. Okay, so it has like 784 element as an input and 256 as an output. Okay, then you are using, and what you are doing is like you are using from NM package, you are using this particular layer and you are storing that into FC1 variable and you are attaching that to cell. Same thing again for like 784 is our, the reason I'm using 784 as input over here, because for image dataset size of that means image is 28 by 28, okay, and that's in a grayscale, okay. So that we will get 784 over there, so we are using 784 as input over here, and then 256. We really don't want to go from 784 to 10 directly, because we want to classify our data into 10 classes, right? So that's the we need 10 as out, but we really don't want to go directly. We need to like preserve some information in between, okay. So what you generally do is like you first of all add this layer over here, put them into FC1 variable, say from 256 to 64, then 64 to 10, okay. You can change this representation and you can also add different layers over here, okay. You might add contour layer over here, you might add like LSTM layer over here, whatever, okay. But you can connect this thing to like cell, so that when you write next method, you really don't have to write this thing again over here, okay. So you name all the layers that you're going to use over here, okay, basically the linear one, and then you create this forward method, okay. So that's where you are defining your architecture, okay. So X is like something you need apart from cell, and X is basically input, okay. So thing is that what we basically want to do in the beginning is we want to flatten our input layer, okay, because we know 28 by 28 is like image, so we want to convert that into 1D vector, okay. So basically that's the tensor thing that we want to have. So what, so as I mentioned earlier, when you have to reshape any tensor, we use the three methods: reshape, resize, and view. View is perfect because it really doesn't affect your memory allocation part, okay. Otherwise you might have like this dangling pointers and all that stuff over there. So that's the reason we use this forward means this x.view method over there, okay. So you just mention so here what we want to have over here is we want to have like number of images, and then uh, 784 as a size over here, okay. So like 64, so we want to use batch size to be 64, so x.shape 0. So when you develop data set or define that data set, so we're gonna put that into or split that into batch of 64 images, okay. So what you are doing is like you are taking that 64 first, then 1 by 28 by 28, okay, and then by writing -1, you are getting that as like 784 over here, okay. So you are flattening this image. So basically, in case of the Keras, you just tend to use like that flatten command, okay, and that does all that stuff. But here, what you need to do is you need to use this x.view command, okay, and then x.shape 0 -1, or you can also write 1 by 784 or 64 by 784 over here. But you don't know what the size of that your batch. So you are doing this first thing. The next thing that you are doing is, so basically this representation means implementation start from this end, okay. So first of all, you pass this thing through this fully connected layer, okay, which has like representation of 784 by 256. Then it calculates some value, it gets some output, and that output will be fed as again input to this ReLU, okay. So that's the activation element, activation non-linear activation layer, okay, and that comes from this functional subpackage, okay. So this is like one perceptron means one layer implementation with both party, linear activation, linear operation plus non-linear activation, okay. Then you get output. This is the first layer, then this is the second layer with fully connected layer, and then ReLU. And then third element, what you do this feed forwarding operation using this fully connected layer, but then you pass this thing to, means if you have to do means binary classification, you use like binary cross entropy as a loss function, and you use like sigmoid operation over here. But what we want to do, we want to do multi-class classification. We want to solve multi-class classification problem, okay. So we use this softmax function, okay. So you can use like normal softmax function, but thing is that you might not get like really good accuracy over there, okay, because thing is that like it will have like multiple digits, okay, means significant digit will be larger, and you might get like some reduction in accuracy, okay. So what generally people do is like they use log of softmax first, and then they use like negative log of likelihood on top of that, and then they get similar thing of that like cross entropy, okay. Means categorical cross entropy or binary cross entropy, okay. So that's something we are doing on top of this fully connected layer, and we just want to do that on all the columns, okay, means like for first row and all the columns. So that's the reason I'm mentioning the dimension is equal to 1, okay. So when I say dimension 0, that means first row. When I say sorry, yeah, means like all the rows but first column. When I say dimension 1, that means like first row and all the columns. Okay, and I'm returning this thing. Okay, so that's how I'm building my model. Okay, so guys, is this thing clear to you? Because this is something important. Okay, are you clear about this?
Yes.
So this is like this is how you define network. The next thing is you need to import data. You need to do some sort of pre-processing, and then you just train it. So like importing data, that's the third thing, and then training it, and there is going to be some like pipeline for that, and the training is the fourth part. So that's how you get your network train, and then finally is testing part. Okay, so I'm like, just to show you like what sort of steps are there. So I'm importing all the packages in the beginning. Then what I'm doing is I'm like I'm then I'm getting data set. Okay, added over here. You can get that data set from like directly from that data set package, or you can also get that data set from your computer. Okay, so you just need to use like data set and image folder over here, and you need to provide your path over here, and you can get that. So in the beginning, what I'm doing is like I'm using transform command, okay, because whatever data that's gonna be imported, that need to be like pre-processed, right? So what I'm doing is like I'm using this compose method, and inside this compose method, I'm just listing down all the operations that I want to do. Okay. So first thing that I want to do is I want to convert that input image into tensor shape. Okay, I want to convert that into tensor, and then second thing that I want to do is I want to normalize it. Okay, and for whenever you have to do normalization, you need to provide two inputs. First thing is you need to provide mean value, and then I need to provide deviation. Okay, so here I want to normalize this entire pixel values from 0 to 255 into like 0 to 1. So here I want to use, means after this transformation or after this normalization, you want to have your mean at 0.5. That's like 127 or 120. Yeah, 127, and your deviation to be 0.5. Okay, because you want to have your range between 0 to 1. Okay, so you are doing this transform thing. Okay, so transform dot compose, and then a transform dot to tensor, transform dot normalize, and you can also transform dot rotation, transform dot horizontal flip, and you can provide all those arguments, and you can get your. So this transform is this variable is something we want to need when we are importing this data. Okay, so first, then second thing is we need to using this first command. Okay, so basically I'm downloading this data from this data sets package. Okay, so data set means providing path PyTorch. So this tilde is something I'm using for like current means that root folder, home folder, then like dot PyTorch, then niche data, and then like I'm download true, train true, because I want to train this data. I want to train my network based on the data, and transform to be transformed, and that something will be stored inside the train set variable. And then based on that, I want to create a data generator. Okay, so torch dot etil dot data dot data loader. So I need to provide that variable where my data is being imported, and then I need to provide backside and shuffle to. Okay. And that something will load data into my network. Okay. Means on my this Colab. Okay, so that thing is there. Then I am using this sequential command. I am again building the same thing. Okay, linear, then ReLU, then linear, then ReLU, and then linear. Guys, we have less than minute left. Is this thing clear to you? I have done same thing again, like imported packages, then imported data, and then build a network again. Okay, then fourth thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna do training. Are these things clear to you? And try to join same link again. Okay, are these things clear?
Yes.
Yes. So next thing is, oh no, yeah, less than minute left. Let me end this meeting. Okay, what we have in chat box on another domain, can you explain